Well, the Chiefs won the game, but it didn't come without some potential and likely serious loss. Chiefs over the Chargers 17-10 in Los Angeles yesterday. Here to talk about the game, our friend, Chiefs analyst, former player Kendall Gammon is here on KCMO 95.7 FM. It's sponsored by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Well, Kendall, looking at yesterday's game, they won. That's the best thing you can say. But obviously, everyone's talking about Rashee Rice. Looks like it's an ACL injury. And what does that mean for this team now going forward?
It means somebody has to step up. And that's the life of the NFL is you understand. We say it all the time, you have to be fortunate to not have injuries to do some good things in this league. Unfortunately, the Chiefs are dealing with a lot. But somebody in the receiving corps has got to step up. You saw Xavier Worthy do some nice things afterwards. And, of course, Kelsey came back. We'll talk about that. But that's simply what it comes down to. That maybe the Chiefs could be buyers. I don't know. But as far as free agent somewhere along the line, but I'm just not sure.
When you look at that hit, I mean, it came from Mahomes after an interception, and then he kind of throws his shoulder into the body, or he's trying to tackle a guy after the interception, which, by the way, that in and of itself was a dangerous play by your franchise quarterback. He's throwing his throwing shoulder into the body of 250-pound dudes. I'm like, what is he doing? And then he hits Rashee Rice's knee. In hindsight, I mean, that's one of those plays where I feel like Mahomes has to basically just stay out of the way and reap what he sowed on a play like that. Do you think Andy talks to him and says, hey, let's just not do that again?
My guess would be yes, except also I would say this, is he probably knows it himself with what's going on. Unfortunately, that's a competitive side of him. But sometimes you do have to learn to control your emotions a little bit, and there was just some frustration there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kelsey, you mentioned it there, 89 receiving yards, 7 catches, and he had 69 receiving yards in his first 3 games. So what did you see from Travis Kelce yesterday, despite the fact that Rashee Rice was out, that got him more back in the mix from what was a pretty low-key first 3 games for the tight end?
I think a little bit of it was just out of necessity, and they had some things dialed up for him, but I thought that he just did a nice job of getting downfield and setting in the zones, finding those windows, if you will. And, having been a former QB in high school and went there, started that way in college, he understands a lot more than most people in terms of how to find those windows and what the QB is looking for. So I think there's just that. And I just think probably with the talk, even if it's subconsciously, there's a little bit more effort on everybody's part to maybe get him involved a little bit more. Because we say all the time, we've been saying that, teams are taking him out, but, they didn't take him out, the first 11 years of his career. So there was something that was going wrong a little bit. But yesterday, certainly, I think even the first pass, getting down the sideline and beating somebody, they showed that the dog can still run pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mahomes, with that interception, he's now got 5 on the season, 6 touchdown passes. Are you seeing anything out of him that is concerning? Is it just rust? Is it the guy getting into a groove? What are you seeing with Patrick Mahomes in particular, since he's had, uncharacteristic turnovers early in the season?
Well, you know what, this isn't my strong point in terms to check things out, but I would say probably he's pressing a little bit, not getting some of the production that he's used to, and now trying to do some things. And that, I think that happens sometimes. It's just human nature. When things aren't going perfectly, that you try to press a little bit and go above, maybe what's been coached or what you're being told to do. But this is Patrick Mahomes. We know who he is. We know what he is. We've got the sample size. He is the best. And no doubt he's made some mistakes, and you're right about that. When you talk about 6 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, not a great ratio. He'll probably talk about it this week very openly. But when it comes down to it, there's still, I think, nobody that you would rather have. But that being said, if the Chiefs really want to three-peat and do some of the things they want to do, he's going to have to step up, quite honestly, even more than he has now because of some of the injuries that we got going.
What impressed you most with this defense after the Chiefs fall down 10-0 early? They don't allow a point over the next 3 quarters. They obviously win the game 17-10. What did you like most about that side of the ball, Kendall Gammon?
You know what? They run well to the ball. This is a fast defense, and of course, Chris Jones, even though he's maybe 30 now or almost there, I mean, playing as well as ever, and he just really makes things go. But it's a fast defense. I guess that's the number one thing. Then also they force teams to make mistakes, and that has a lot to do with Steve Spagnuolo and some of the things he's drawn up. I mean, some of the run blitzes he runs and some of just the pass blitzes in general, getting players in the right position to make plays, and then also, doing things where they have numbers. And when I say that, doing things that confuses the offense. So now you've got 4 on one side rushing when they've only put 3 over there to block, and letting somebody come free in some fashion. And that's not easy to do. And what they're doing, sometimes bringing 6 and having trust in the back end that your zero coverage, which is your man-to-man coverage, is going to hold out, or you expect and do get to the QB before he has time to figure out where the open guy might be. So things of that nature, they're playing at a very high level.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you look at where this team goes moving forward at the wide receiver position, is there somebody that you think should be the person that steps up, or you want to see be the person that steps up with Rashee Rice? It looks like likely done for the season.
Well, you know what? I think you've got to get more Xavier Worthy, and I think you can. Noah Gray, I think, stepped up, and he can be a good one as well, because I still think we're going to see three tight end sets at some point in time. But it's interesting, when I look at it, receptions wise, tight ends are the top 2. Kelsey was 7 and Gray with 4, but. I think it's going to be receiver by committee. It should be all the time, but I think we've got solid people. But certainly losing Rashee Rice, if in fact that's what has happened, and we believe that's probably going to be what we hear, that's a tough one. There's no doubt about it. I think the run game has to continue to be at least mediocre, so the play action pass comes into play more than it ever has. But I don't know. It's open for a wide receiver to step up and do some things. No doubt.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kendall, we are going to talk to you, I guess, a week from today. Monday Night Football is going to be back in Kansas City for the Buccaneers 1 week from tonight. So we'll talk to you then, give you off Friday, and we'll get set for Monday Night Football in a week. We appreciate the time, my friend.
Sounds good. Take care, Pete.
All right. Very well done as always. Kendall Gammon on 95.7 FM KCMO. Did you hit that parlay, Mark, over the weekend? No, right?
No, it didn't work out for me.
I didn't think it did.
Sadly, the Chiefs didn't even score 20 points for my race to 20.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Carson Steele couldn't get 30 yards rushing.
They did. Well, the spread was 7, but I did see it went down to 6.5 right before kickoff.
Which was good for those who did that.
Yes, which was good for those who might have waited till late to bet the Chiefs minus 6.5. You got to cover on that.
For the receiver question, by the way, that you asked Kendall, then I think Juju's going to be a guy that steps up.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, where did he have any catches yesterday?
I don't think so, but they'll have a week to play, a little longer of a week this week because they have Monday Night Football next week, so they can get him into the game plan. This week they weren't planning for it. They didn't think Rice would be hurt, so now they can get Juju into the mix a little bit more, in my opinion.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Well, they're going to have to figure out
Mark
a way.
and I've got it all figured out. They don't need to acquire anybody. We're going to have them run a little more with the committee. And spread that ball around, and Juju got here, and that's kind of under the radar. That came right at the end of the preseason.
I like the way you guys are thinking there. You guys got it all figured out. All right? Get you hooked up with Andy after the show today.
We're going out to Big Boys. Some nuggies.
There you go. Oh, man.